Welcome to TMG Today. Join other master manifestors across the globe to turn your goals into reality at lightning speed. Here, we connect the dots for you so you can skip all the nonsense and finally get unstuck. Right here on the Manifestor's Guide Today. Let's go.
Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome to the Manifestor's Guide Today. I am Dewey Taylor.
Hey, I'm Charlie Carroll.
That was very enthusiastic. I love it.
Hey,
welcome to the first episode, everybody. So we are here to have some amazing conversation with you and to kind of guide you through your own manifestation process. So let me tell you a little bit about TMG. So TMG is our company where we coach people on through their manifestation process and turn their goals into reality. So we're on a mission to create master manifestors across the globe. We're here to explore the intersection of universal law, success principles, and brain science. So definitely, if this is something that you feel that is going to add value to your life, like, subscribe, and share all of these episodes with everybody that you know, because, you know, by sharing the value that you have in your own life, you actually create more value in the world, which then, of course, creates an energy exchange, which, you know, comes right back to you. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. And we have a lot more exciting episodes coming up. So this is exciting stuff, man. We got our first episode coming out. This is very cool.
I am super excited for today's topic. This is an awesome one.
Do you know? So tell the listeners what we're talking about today.
Today, we are talking about swimming in success, inviting success into your life, making decisions from a viewpoint of knowing that you're going to be successful and just what it means to live in success as you reach toward your goals. I'm super excited about this.
I'm very excited about it too. And these are the kind of topics that we talk about in the Manifestor's Guide to Ease community. We have actually a Manifestor's Guide inner circle, and it's a community of like-minded people from all across the globe. If this is something that you're interested in and you want to be involved in a community that supports each other, that holds each other accountable for the goals that they're trying to create in their life, this is a fantastic opportunity to jump in and take a deep dive into a success journey. So definitely feel free to join us. And we're talking about success and what that means today. And this is going to be a very poignant exploration of that. But these are the kind of things we talk about all the time in this community. And it is a wonderful space to find accountability buddies and to move forward in your life. And we also have unlimited access to weekly coaching as well. So if this is something that, like I said, aligns with you and you're ready to really change your life, check us out on manifestorsguide.com and get more information there. So we have a community question from somebody in our Manifestors Inner Circle community. And what is that question, Charlie?
Yes. Yeah. So Leslie L. from Ontario, Canada, she's asking, she says, you keep talking about success, and I know there's nothing wrong with it, but something inside me is turned off by the word success. What is that? And why is it such a bother for me? Deep down, I want my life to be successful, but I know I need to get past this block. Help.
Well, Leslie,
we hear you,
Leslie.
We hear you. Yes.
Yeah, we definitely hear you. And honestly, this is a much more common thing than people would. We hear it all the time. We hear this all the time where people say, especially when they come up to things like finances or success, or anything that it talks about them being expansive or sitting in a place of power. We hear it all the time when we're coaching. From many, many people in our community, it becomes a trigger. So we're actually doing an episode in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned, but it has to do with being triggered and what that actually means and why it can be an asset to you and how it can be an asset.
Yes.
But we're just going to briefly say for now that being triggered can be a good thing because it can identify some of the things in life that you need to be taking a look at. So we'll just leave it there for now. But this is a fantastic question, and we're going to jump into this. And here's what we're going to be covering today in this episode. We're going to be talking about defining your purpose. What does that mean? We talk about that all the time, and people say, well, I don't know what my purpose is here, and I really want to know. And I feel like I go to work and I do all these things, and it's very not purposeful. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel fulfilling. I want to do something that matters. We're going to be talking about that. What does that actually mean? We're also going to be talking about becoming a creator in your life instead of just a consumer. We all know what that what that's like to be a consumer in a very, consumer heavy society. But we're going to break that down a little bit. And what does that actually look like? And what is the opposite of that? How do you turn into that creator energy? We're also going to be talking about aligning with your purpose from that perspective of being a creator in your life, and also how to make decisions, how to make really powerful, impactful decisions in your life that actually propel you forward. Because we know one of the most important things you can do to move and to get that inspired action, to take that kinetic energy and move forward in your life, is to just make decisions. They always create change. So this is going to be an exciting episode. We're going to blast through this stuff when we get back from this break, and we'll see you guys in just a second.
TMG is partnered with Podbean to bring you new episodes each week. Are you finally ready to step into your own power and let your voice be heard? Well, then why not start your very own podcast? Remember, what you find ordinary, others will find extraordinary. It's never been easier to produce and distribute your podcast to every major podcasting app available. Podbean also makes monetizing your podcast foolproof, so you can add value to the world while you're making money. Thanks to our partnership, you can try your first month absolutely free. Visit podbean.com/TMG today. That's podbean.com/TMG today.
Brain science has shown that by the time you're 7 years old, you've installed a program in your mind that you'll run for a lifetime. And for 99% of us, we're running a program of struggle. But you can change that. At TMG, we've designed a system to install this new programming to get you exactly where you want to go. With the power of brain science and multisensory learning, you'll discover your path of least resistance as you manifest your goals into reality. And for a limited time, you can try the Manifestor's Guide to Ease system absolutely risk-free. This system comes with unlimited access to weekly coaching for accelerated results, as well as instant membership into the Manifestor's Inner Circle online community. If you're ready to finally get unstuck and create the ultimate life success you know you're capable of, visit manifestorsguide.com. Use coupon code TMG today for 10% off, and we'll send the Manifestor's Guide to Ease system to your email right now. That's manifestorsguide.com.
And welcome back. All right, Charlie, we are jumping into the swimming in success. So the first thing we're going to talk about is defining your purpose. Okay. So have you ever had that experience where you're just you're moving through life and experiencing everything from a very non-impactful space?
I feel like it's really part of mainstream programming is to think that you have to be someone special to even have a purpose, or to to connect with a purpose. Like, you're not programmed to think of your life in terms of your purpose. You're programmed to think in terms of surviving and getting by, and maybe you're lucky to connect with your purpose.
Yes. And I think we're having kind of a resurgence and a reawakening in a sense from this younger generation. I would say anybody that's 40 and under is really having their soul cry out that this doesn't seem right. There's something missing in my life. There's that missing puzzle piece, that things feel very unpurposeful, it feels just drab it's being stuck.
It doesn't feel good to anybody. It feels stuck. It feels heavy. It feels gross. But the thing is, aren't we also, so many of us, conditioned to just accept that? Oh, well, this is just what this is just what life is. This is the experience of life. I'm unhappy. I don't feel purposeful. I spend so much time every day, every week in things that I don't care about and don't really want, but I have to survive. It's survival stuck energy. Yuck.
Yes. And we're actually going to talk about that in a few weeks as well, talking about inspired action. And you'll hear that word a lot as we move through. You'll hear a lot of the same terms, but we're going to delve more into these terms as we, get into future episodes. But what you're saying is very true. A lot of people are conditioned that, well, I just have to accept these circumstances because life is hard. Well, that's a part of programming. And, part of our entire system, Manifestor's Guide to Ease, what we talk about is reprogramming the subconscious mind. Your brain is a computer and you're running a program. And you can absolutely reprogram your mind for success and for ease, but you have to be aware that you are running that program, and that's why you're accepting all the things that you're accepting in your life. So let's define purpose. What actually is purpose? Well, purpose is the intersection of receiving inspiration, providing value, and creating fulfillment or abundance, prosperity. So it's the intersections of those three items. And providing value, we're going to talk about this in a few weeks too, but it's creating a value exchange. Well, what is that? Well, you have to create value in order to exchange it out into the world. Like I said, we'll be getting more into that, but that's a very basic concept we can all understand. If you don't have anything of value, why is anybody going to find you valuable? You know, why, for instance, if you, I always use this example of a pizza, but if someone's delivering you a pizza, why do you pay them money? Well, because you're hungry and you desire food. They have something of value that you want, and you have something of value that they want, and you exchange that. Here's money for a pizza. Very basic concept. So when we think about it in those terms, it's receiving inspiration, providing value, and creating fulfillment. That is the intersection of those three things is what our purpose is, okay? Nice. So we just have to figure out what that means for us. So creating fulfillment, we always say at Manifestor's Guide, there are three pillars of a happy life: love and health, wealth and prosperity, balance and happiness. So we want to create fulfillment and abundance and prosperity in those three areas. And I'm going to say them again just to let it sink in. Love and health, wealth and prosperity, balance and happiness. So what has your experience been with defining purpose in your own life?
I'm definitely the person who couldn't even get to the point of thinking about purpose for a while. I was living in so much struggle. I suppose though, once I really started asking the question, only because I got so frustrated with showing up in life for things I didn't care at all about, and they weren't even bringing me that much value in return. Once I started asking the question, I found out how truly lost I was in what my purpose was. I had to think back to my childhood, like what did I enjoy? What did I do naturally? You know, and then just think about, okay, well, what I still want to carry now? But it's funny, the experience in even realizing that I didn't know what my purpose kind of took me to the other side and going, oh, now once I discovered it, the joy of finding purpose, I want to help people find that purpose too. So that's even like part of my purpose now is helping people find their purpose. I'm teaching that they can, right? Like helping them plug in, letting everyone know you have something amazing that only you can plug into. And that's what we're talking about today is plugging into it. So here we go.
Well, and what I will just bounce off of that saying that part of my purpose, in our system, we talk about a top 6. What are your top 6 goals? And we actually have an amazing assessment that helps you walk through how to identify your top 6 goals, your lifetime goals. I mean, these are the big goals that you're trying to achieve in your life. And a lot of people don't even know what those are. But one of my goals is to create and to foster purpose, prosperity, and impact. So I ask myself in everything that I do, am I fostering purpose in others? That's part of my purpose. Is it creating prosperity? And prosperity, as we'll talk about in the coming weeks, doesn't just mean money. Prosperity means in every area of your life. Am I fostering prosperity in all pillars of a happy life? And am I creating impact in the world in a positive way? I always say in the spirit of beneficence, And so it's really cool that to be able to have, when you have purpose, you can stop and go, wait a minute. Is this the right opportunity for me? Does it hit those targets? Is it, for me, does it create purpose, prosperity, and impact in others? And does it fulfill part of my purpose? And if it's a no, it's so easy to just move on and to pass on things. And it keeps you on target very easily. And that's where we get into our next point, which is being a consumer versus a creator. In order to be purposeful in your life, you can't be in a state of just constant consumption. And isn't that what we do all the time, right? We're constantly consuming television and radio and news, and we're constantly consuming. We consume clothes, Christmas. That's why consumerism is such a big topic at Christmas, because it really showcases so blatantly in front of us how consumerist our society is. We can't get away from it. We just consume. So that really comes from the old program. We talk about reprogramming your mind. That comes from the brainwash program, from all of these external sources telling us how to live and how we're supposed to be. So talk a little bit to the listeners about programming and belief and reprogramming. Well, that's something you've written a great article about that, and I would love for you to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so and just to say everything, like consumption in and of itself isn't a negative thing, but everything's about balance, right? And consumption brings us something that we don't, if we're lacking purpose and lacking that chosen direction, we're not sustained through that. So we look to consumption, right, instead. And our old programming reinforces that consumption is where you find your happiness. It's where you find your joy. Because, hey, you've worked 40 hours this week. You might have hated what you've been doing. You deserve now to plug into some things you enjoy. So send us all your money, send us all your energy. But we're programmed to think, again, that finding purpose and being a creator is reserved for a select few, that it's a privilege if you get to do that. But it's not a privilege. It's a necessity if you're going to connect with what you ideally want in life. And and shifting from being that, non-purposeful consumer into one who creates with purpose is really just choosing different beliefs. It's reprogramming, and that's what we do in the system. Is we walk you through and take you through the whole process of teaching yourself new ideas to look at yourself and your world from a new perspective. And we like to make it fun and easy too, so that's always a fun thing.
Well, and what you said, it's very poignant because we always talk about cyclical energy flow in life. If you're just consuming and you're not creating, you don't have an energy flow. So that's blocking you in every other area. It's blocking money flow. It's blocking love and ease. And if you want a joyful life with cooperation in your relationships, in your work, in your money, and you want everything to just be moving forward, you see some people in life and go, gosh, it's so easy for them. Right? Well, that can be you as well. You just have to unblock yourself. So that means you can't only consume. We want to create a cycle where we're consuming as we're creating and consuming as we're creating. But that is what the creator energy is. Consumption is going to be a part of that, but you're not a black hole just sucking the life out of the world. That's not what you're doing.
Right.
And this is what people don't understand either. And it's so important when it comes to what we talk about swimming in success, being successful is getting to a space where you understand that if you're running that old program, you can't just will yourself through an old program that is, and you're running in your brain that is programmed for struggle. You are programmed to struggle. It's not going to last long. You can try to force yourself to do it, which is forceful action. We're talking about inspired action. And inspiration comes from a place of alignment with your goals after you've defined your purpose, after you've reprogrammed yourself for success. But that is a whole other thing. We're going to be talking about that a lot moving forward in the coming episodes.
I feel like we can revisit
reprogramming
this topic.
Is a huge... Oh, we're gonna revisit all these topics.
Purpose is gonna touch. Yeah, this is a light intro.
Oh, for sure. But it's a lot of people. The honest truth is don't have these conversations about any of this stuff, about purpose, about the program they're running in their brain, about why they are experiencing blocks in their life. So it's really good to just even address it lightly and then continue to come back to these things over and over again. I always tell people, going to a therapist or a coach or anybody and thinking that you're just going to make a couple of life changes and then everything's great and you're going to move forward. It's very uneducated thinking. This is really about a lifestyle change. It's like thinking you're going to do a diet and that you're going to be skinny for the rest of your life. No, you have to change your lifestyle. And the reason why you have to have your health, your overall health in mind as you're making these decisions. And the same here. You have to have your success health as a human being and all pillars of a happy life in your brain and in your spirit as you're making these decisions and moving forward for a full lifestyle change. So that's why we're going to revisit these things over and over and over, because we're going to explore them from many different directions so it fully sinks in. And this is going to be just getting into the cadence of revisiting these things all the time and thinking in terms of energy, vibration, frequency, success, and what does that mean? And what we're really talking about here today is, finding a path of purpose. It's not just defining purpose one time and snapping your fingers. It's a journey of purpose. And that's where you find inspired action, right? You create momentum as a creator, and the more momentum that you gain, which we will talk about more as well, but the more momentum that you gain and the more speed that you gain as you're moving forward, the more inspiration you receive. And it becomes, it just propels you forward faster and faster. And let's compare that to a path of a consumer, someone who's only consuming. This is some of this. The symptoms of this can be like boredom, stagnancy.
Oh, yeah.
And where you have to force yourself to do things. A lot of times people say things
unfulfilled all the time.
Unfulfilled.
You're left unfulfilled.
And so
yeah.
I use the gym as an example all the time with our coaching clients, where we say, when you're in a space where you're having to force yourself to go to the gym, that's forceful action, right? You have to take forceful action to make yourself get up and just push through it. Well, can you do that? And can you find some success there? Well, sure. But that's probably success as defined from someone else's standard, right? What we're really talking about is getting into a space where you are aligned with your own purpose and finding the inspiration to want to do these things, where you can't stay off the couch, you can't stay on the couch. You got to get off the couch and move. And I've experienced that in my own life.
Yeah. Purpose is often filtered too, like, oh, well, purpose just connects to my career or my work or how I make money. But no, purpose defines who you date. It defines how you treat yourself physically, et cetera, et cetera. It plugs into every area of your life. That's why connecting with it's the key to opening your doors. It's
really understanding, like we said, what purpose is, right? It's this intersection of these three items, but how do we use that, right? So what does that mean? Like, what am I actually going to write down on a sheet of paper? Well, once we've just decided, okay, it's this intersection of receiving inspiration, providing value, and creating fulfillment and prosperity, fantastic. But what does that mean? How does that translate? Well, what we want to do is we want to align with those three things to find what those items are. And what we're going to end up writing down is what we call aligning with purpose, right? You're aligning with that. Yes. And then once you do that, and you realize what you actually desire in life and what actually is fulfilling, what you're going to find is that every action that you take moving forward, every inspired action, will make you successful. Because the difference between those two things is when we're living in the old program, what we've been programmed to do, right? That old program tells us what success is from everybody else's standard. So our whole life seems like we're trying to achieve something, to prove something to ourselves and to everyone else around us. And that is not only incredibly unfulfilling, it's a lot of pressure. And that's why a lot of people just keep collapsing and keep stopping. When you are inspired to fulfill your own purpose by redefining purpose, that's one of our success principles. One of our first principles is redefine success. And when you do that, from a place of alignment, every single inspired action that you take is successful, and you constantly feel every day like you are a success. And then you want to keep going. That's when you keep going, is when you are constantly saying, man, I was successful today. Man, I was successful today. And I'm moving more and more toward my ultimate success. And that's when you keep moving. And that's what we're trying to do for people, is to create that energy flow, that inspiration where they just want to keep moving every day in their life. They're excited. They're joyful. And it's just a really fulfilling experience.
And we have to know, and Leslie, for asking this question, just know, and for everybody else who's wondering how to connect with purpose, understand that those who are exhibiting purpose in their life just chose to connect with it. They didn't, this is why it's, again, I keep saying it's not a privilege to connect with your purpose. It's a must. It's your right to do it. You have to choose today that I'm just going to, even if I don't know what it is, I'm just going to pivot. Yeah, you're worthy. I am going to, today, I'm choosing my purpose today by agreeing that I am going to discover it. That may be where you're at today, and that's perfectly fine.
It is perfectly fine. And the best part about getting into that space where you have aligned with your purpose and you're taking all these inspired actions and you're feeling good is when you are taking inspired action to move toward this purpose, everything becomes a lot more clear. Clarity is a big thing with success. When you're in a space of kind of gray area, well, I don't know, maybe that's the right decision, maybe that's not. You're not coming from a place of purpose because you don't see the end result, and then you can't kind of, retroactively, build that backwards and see where you are right now and how that's taking steps towards something. When you don't have any purpose, you're just kind of meandering out in the world. And when you are aligned with your purpose, you are making decisions. And when you make decisions, they're so powerful because making decisions, good or bad, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Take all that out of the equation. Just making decisions they're so powerful because they cause change. No matter what you do, when you make decisions in your life will change. And we tell this to our clients all the time, but energy cannot be created or destroyed. We know that from science. It can only be transformed. So nothing stays the same. So We always tell people, stop trying to keep things, comfortable or familiar, because they're going to change no matter what. No matter, you can't stop things from changing. It will always be transforming. So go with that flow, and get out ahead of it. That's an even better thing, is to make decisions from a place of purpose and to just start changing things in your life, because it will always be for the better if you are aligned with your purpose. So, this is a process. We're always becoming somebody new all the time, whether we want to or not. And we can try to hold on and resist that change, but that only causes problems in our lives. So just surrender to the change, and embracing that process creates expansion and momentum, and it leads us to where we want to go once we've defined that purpose. When we try to resist that, what we're really doing is we're restricting ourselves. We're restricting our possibilities. We're wasting all of our energy. And that's what we call stagnancy. That's what people feel like when they're stuck. That's really what it is. So that's why aligning with your purpose is so important. It does.
Your emotions.
It really does.
Your emotions are letting you know, release, let go. I want to move. It's the energy telling you it wants to move forward, and you're not letting it.
It's so true. And it's such a great indicator of where you are and realizing your gap from where you are and where you desire to be. But first, we have to really define where we desire to be. And that's part of defining your purpose, So, and I will also leave everybody with this week, is part of this is embracing change. You have to embrace that. That's another one of our success principles. You can't just say you want all these things in life, but you kind of want to manifest them into your current state of being. You have to change as a person. Your life is going to change around you. The people are going to change around you. Your circumstances will change. That maybe the city that you live in. There's so many things that are going to change when you're becoming this person that lives in this ideal space. So embrace all of the changes and live in the discomfort zone. I drive that home to everyone all the time. When people start telling me, oh man, I just lost my job, or this happened, or I'm really uncomfortable, I always say, good, that's awesome. And they look at me like I'm crazy. But you have to be in that space where you are embracing the discomfort. When you are not comfortable with being uncomfortable, you can't grow. So start being really comfortable with being uncomfortable all the time. And then you're in a really good spot to grow and to change and to thrive in life. Because that's what we're really getting at. This is not about just surviving or even just living. This is about thriving. And if you are ready to thrive in life, defining your purpose and turning from just a consumer into a creator, aligning with your purpose, making those decisions and taking those inspired action steps forward, it will cause that powerful change in your life. And being okay and embracing that change and living in that discomfort zone for the rest of your life and making that lifestyle shift as you're reprogramming your mind is how you achieve success. And that is what swimming in success really is. It's being in that energy space of having your purpose defined, taking those action steps forward, and being uncomfortable and being excited about not knowing what's coming next. You know where you're going, but you're willing to pivot a million times in order to get there because change is good. That's where we want to be. And
it's all about reprogramming your mind to accept that. Amen. It's all about reprogramming your mind to accept that. Let go of any aspects of you that don't allow you to accept that. Eventually, you call it uncomfortable, but it's just life. And it won't be uncomfortable once you have ample evidence that moving into that space produces what you want. You're so willing to go into it at that point.
I'll give you an amen back on that. And that's the other thing too, is a part of amen all around. And the part of this journey is just really embracing the fact that we are on a journey. This is an adventure. We use that word all the time, but an adventure in manifestation, an adventure in creating, an adventure of life, And so even the journey of reprogramming it's an adventure. It's a journey. It's not something that you do for a couple of weeks and then you're like, great, I'm done. You're going to constantly be expanding for the rest of your life. So we are going to be working with you guys directly, every single listener. We're going to be working with you to continue talking about these principles, it from many, many different perspectives in order to really aid you in your growth. And again, if you are wanting even more accelerated growth in your life, feel free to jump in and join us in our community. We would love to have you. This has been such an extraordinary experience, not just for the people in the community, but for us as the co-founders of TMG. I mean, there is nothing that is more fulfilling, that's the right word, in life than to create more of what you want to see in the world. I want to see more of that in myself, that fulfillment and that purpose and, the prosperity and all that stuff, and being able to create that through other people. I mean, it's just the bee's knees. There's nothing better than that. So we're extending the invitation as always, and I will continue to do that every episode because we would love to have you and to help you along in your journey. So we've got some exciting topics coming up. Next week, we are talking about wealth stewardship and why that's important. That's one of those other hot button topics with people is talking about wealth. And there's a lot of different perspectives surrounding wealth and wealthy people and having money. Yeah, it can be. But there's also a lot of people who don't have money, but could seriously use some. So we're going to talk about kind of readjusting our expectations about wealth through the lens of wealth stewardship and what actually that means. So, feel free to join us, guys, next week. We're so excited to be here. It was a great first episode, and we're going to keep taking the deep dive into this manifestation adventure with you. Is there anything you want to say to the listeners on our first episode before we head out?
Thanks so much for being here. It was great to talk to you guys today. Keep coming back. There's a lot of gold coming your way. Can't wait to share more with y'all.
Love it. All right, everybody, we will catch you guys next week. And thank you so much, powerful, powerful creators and master manifestors. We will see you guys next time.